We do have to be a bit careful with this data because some of these Treasury buying is routed through Belgium, and actually we've seen some increases there. But nonetheless, in terms of how China reacts in the coming weeks, market watchers see China holding firm on the yuan for the rest of June. Of course, the PBOC has set the daily fixing just stronger than 690 for about a month. What are you expecting from China or on the yuan or other policy tools ahead of the G20?
Well, ahead of the G20, I suspect that the yuan will remain pretty stable. I think ahead of these kind of events, Chinese policymakers tend to want to promote the impression that China is a global player and it doesn't want to rock the boat when it comes to financial markets, and so it will aim to keep the yuan, I think, in a stable condition, and it will probably hover around these kind of levels. Once the G20 is out of the way is probably the bigger question, whether or not you're going to see a deal struck between the US and China at that event, and if so, what kind of deal that would be, or alternatively, if there is no deal and no signals about improvement in the negotiations or the dialogue, then perhaps there is a scope for some sort of reaction and secondary effects which might start to impact on the currency markets.
If we do get any kind of benign outcome from the G20, Tim, how quickly could we see a recovery in global growth? We've seen impact everywhere, really, including in regional Fed manufacturing gauges.
I think that would take more than just a benign outcome. It would take quite a constructive outcome to engender greater confidence about global growth. So there would need to be some sort of firmness and certainty about a deal being struck between the US and China. Simply a kind of pushing things into the future and promising more talks, which might seem benign. I think that from the market's point of view, they'd be still a little bit unsettled. I think the nature of this trade dispute, so far at least, has been the unpredictability of it and the randomness of many of the sort of measures that have been taken, not only in relation to the US and China, but also globally as well, with occasional forays towards Mexico and towards India and other countries as well. So I think the whole sort of nature of this dispute has become more complicated than just a bilateral one with US and China.